Yo, welcome to the show. Welcome to another episode of the Charlie Newhart Show. Like and subscribe if you like real content. If not, just get off. If you're too sensitive, you can't handle the real, just get off. I ain't for everybody. But I appreciate everybody that tuned in, logged on, subscribed, everybody that hit the website, grabbed the merch. Appreciate y'all. I love charlienewhart.com, man. The ebook and comedy special and roasting in public bundle pack has been flying off the electronic shelves, if you will. So I just want to let y'all know that I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the real content, man. I'm going to get right into it, all right? We're living in some crazy days, the last days, all right? I'm going to hit y'all with some word. 1 Timothy 4 verses, I got the Bible out. If you don't like it, get off. But I got some funny content I want to show y'all, but I'm going to start off with some word. 1 Timothy 4, 1 through 3. Now the Spirit speaks expressly that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Conscience seared with a hot iron means no conscience, doing whatever in the last days. Forbidding to marry. In the last days, people you can see that now. People don't want to get married. I want to get married again, even though I've been married before. I do have a desire to get married again. Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving, and them which believe and know the truth. Okay, it's one thing if you just look, I'm just choosing to be a vegetarian because I think it works for me. But the people who are psycho about it, no. Can't eat meat. You can't eat. How can you eat something that was alive? And they psycho about it. Weirdos. You choose to be a vegetarian. That's your choice. Okay, that's cool. But if you're trying to command everyone else to do it and you think it's just unlawful to eat all meat, you're a weirdo. Latter days. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. But understand this, that in the last days will come perilous times of great stress and trouble, hard to deal with and hard to bear. Last days. For people will be lovers of themselves. Well, we see that already. Everybody, completely selfish, love themselves, utterly self-centered, lovers of money, and aroused by an inordinate, greedy desire for wealth, proud and arrogant and contemptuous boasters. They will be abusive, blasphemous, scoffing, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, and profane. If we ain't seeing the biggest revolution of greed right now, I don't know what is. A lot of what we're experiencing right now with inflation and all this stuff in the government, blah, 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 it's greed. Absolute greed. They will be without natural human affection, callous and inhuman, relentless, admitting of no truce or appeasement. They will be slanderers, false accusers, troublemakers, intemperate, and loose in morals and conduct, uncontrolled and fierce, haters of good. It's the last days. They will be treacherous betrayers, rash and inflated with self-conceit. They will be lovers of sensual pleasures and vain amusements, more than and rather than lovers of God. They have a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. We are in the absolute last days. And I'm staying prayed up, you know what I mean? And but we seeing it play out in the news. There's so much comical stuff that's happening. That's why I don't watch the news. And ultimately, I guess the takeaway that I want to just give everybody is, man, you got to take a break every now and then from social media, news, whatever. I'll take a permanent break from the news. I only did some research just for this segment, but you got to take a break. I know people, they just live and die by the news, social media. They're constantly taking in information. And I heard Denzel say this quote a while ago. He said, what happens when there's just too much information? And that's where we are now. There's just so much information that we're intaking. It's weird. You got to take a break, man. I encourage everybody. And look, I ain't no mental health professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what works for me and for the people that I know and love. You got to take a break and unplug, man. You got to unplug from TV, social media, fast 1 or 2 days a week. Just cut it off and put in some good reading literature. You know what I'm saying? Here go a book right here, Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Get in touch with what's going on in your brain. Right now, we are in 5th generation warfare for your heart and mind. That's what the devil wants, your heart and mind. And you're going to see with some of these people that I'm going to pop up on the screen, some of the stuff that they're doing, it's going to be clear to tell that the enemy is after the hearts and minds of people. Battlefield of the Mind. This is a good devotional book by Joyce Meyer. 100 insights that will change the way you think. Every day, there's like 2 or 3 pages that you can just read that will help you kind of study your own mind and reshape what you're thinking about, you know, and according to God's word. This is a really good book. Okay, check this out. I'm trying this out, the little pop-up screen. So I don't know what side I'm gonna put it on, maybe over here. Columbia judge suspended after appearing on Zoom half nude and smoking. This is a judge. Not bad looking judge though. But I'm saying she just, you know what? What can I about this Zoom? I'll just do whatever I want to do. What was that scripture? Self-centered, conceited, sensual pleasures, vain amusements. Just doing whatever they want. I'm a judge, but I don't care. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna get on here, you know what I mean, and just kind of wear whatever I want, do whatever I want to do. That had to be an interesting Zoom to be involved in. Like, Judge Anderson, are you going to put some garments on for this meeting? No, I'm a judge. Do what I want to do. Do what I want to do. What's this other guy? Michael Martinez. This is a police officer. Dig what dude did. So I'm a firm believer that whenever you get caught, that's not your first time doing it. It's just your first time getting caught. This police officer, he would pull people over and then give them an option. Like, look, either I write you this ticket or you take all your clothes off and run up and down the street butt naked. Action. That's what this dude did to 2 teenagers, man. Michael Martinez pulled over 2 teens. You know, I don't know if they were speeding or whatever they was doing, but he's up with his ticket. Like, look, listen, he's got his ticket book. All right, so, I mean, either I can write you this ticket for speeding 5 over, or you can get out the car, both of y'all, get butt naked and race. But listen, you got to do it on ready, set, go. You know what I'm saying? When I drop my arms, that's when y'all can go. And don't hold yourself either. Lady, don't hold your breast. Let them flap. Dude, don't hold your set, man. You got a ball flap. All right? I want to hear it. I want to hear the ball flap and the titty smack. All right? Ready, set, go. Dude got arrested. He got 10 years. He got 10 years in prison for making people strip. It's an interesting dude. Michael Martinez. What did it say? People who love sensual pleasures and vain amusements. That's a vain amusement. Shout out to Michael Martinez, man. It's an interesting concept for police officers. Like, can you imagine them teaching that in police academy? Guys, you got options out there. All right. You don't feel like writing the ticket. You got some teenagers and they're kind of out of hand. I mean, you know, if you want to make them just run naked, just cut your body cams off, all right? Dude's a weirdo. Here's another weird officer. Officer William Alexander responds to a 911 call, and while he's there, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna just take this box. Sexual assault on a 911 call. Just arrives, and again, when somebody get caught, it ain't their first time. It's just their first time getting caught. This dude got a break though. He gets 10 years probation and has to register as a sex offender. Shout out to this dude. What they teaching some of these officers. Now I do know some cool police officers. I ain't saying all officers is bad, but we really got to kill this narrative that all police officers are, you know, upstanding citizens doing what they're supposed to do. With some foul ones out there, man. And honestly, it seems as if the judicial system is starting to catch on, man. They're starting to fire these dudes that's out of line and giving them prison sentences. You know what I'm saying? And I like what Will Smith said. He said, as far as violence against black people, police officers, he said it's always been going on. It's starting to get filmed now. And, again, with some of these cases too, I really would love to see the whole picture, the whole video, not bits and pieces, because I do believe part of the media is putting out information to make us divided racially, make us divided between men and women. So there is a media divide, and it's a sensationalism with it. But also, too, if some of these officers is out of line, they need to get time. Dude really got a break, 10 years probation. He answering 911 calls with his pants off. Who'd you call? You need some help here? You know what? I'm taking this. He's foul. But I do believe people can be redeemed. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that people can change, and, praying for him and his family. But at the same time, I feel like, now I don't know too much about the whole police officer training program, but do they give these people psych eval tests? Not just at an entry point, but consistently every 6 months or a year, because you could start experiencing trauma, fatigue, whatever it is on the job, and it could probably weigh on you. Like, what made dude think it was okay to just make teenagers strip instead of writing them a ticket? Like, what switched in his brain? What did he witness? What did dude witness for him to start answering 911 calls and be like, you know what? I'm getting something out of this call. It's foul. It's absolutely foul. Praying for that lady or ladies or women or whatever was going on. But, do we conduct consistent psych eval tests? That goes back to my rating system. Okay, I always talk about it. This is how I feel. I feel like when you get your driver's license at age 16, you should also have a psych eval rating on your license. 1 year sane, 5 you crazy. And that should be on your license. When you hand it to people, you should get an evaluation every 6 months. I know the HIPAA laws has prevented all of that, but we need to make an exception, because there's some people out here, they walking around, they certified 5s, and they among us, and we can't tell. If somebody has some type of physical ailment, their arm is broken or their leg, or you can see a physical ailment. We can't see mental ailments. I like what Craig say all the time. Mental health should come with a cough. We should be able to tell. Yeah, something's going on with you. Paranoid schizophrenic, right? All right, yep. We should be able to tell. Somehow we can't tell. And there's people walking on. There's times in my life when I know I was a certified 5. Trauma, went through whatever the case may be. I feel like every 6 months this would be an evaluation and free therapy for everybody, especially since the pandemic. We all went through 2 years of trauma. Everybody should have free therapy. Lifelong free therapy. And every 6 months, you should get an evaluation. Get your 5 down to a 1. But if you a 5, you go apply for a job and you got to show them your driver's license and it says 5, there's some jobs you shouldn't be able to do. Customer service. 5s, no. You should be working in the back, not with people. I know too many 5s working in customer service. When the last time you got cussed out by a customer service person? Or they just completely horrible, rude. They 5s. They should be in the back. They should be in the back stuffing boxes. They should be sweeping, not dealing with people. Put some headphones on Timmy. Put him in the back. He's a 5. You know what I'm saying? Don't have him around explosives, though. We don't want him to blow the building up. You know what I'm saying? Certified 5, man. Columbia judge who got suspended for appearing on Zoom half nude and smoking. What happened in the course of her? What has she experienced? 5. You've worked on a job where you've been tired, fatigued. The wear and tear of that job will turn you from a 1 to a 5 every 6 months. We need an evaluation for everybody, man. 100,000%. We get tired. Look at this guy, Brian Koberger. You see him? Look at that look. Look at that face. Look at this guy. You mean to tell me he don't look like a serial killer? He's got the face. He's got the look. This guy, who was a criminology major, all right, he was studying criminal justice and all these other things, he puts a Reddit post up asking people who had spent time in prison, what was it like and what crime did you commit? Like, he was doing this in-depth research. And in the midst of doing this in-depth research, he just decides to stab 4 people. They done found his DNA on the scene, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? This guy's a 5. Why are 5s studying criminal justice? I feel like whatever your social score is on your driver's license, it should determine what you're able to study to. This dude is a 5 studying criminology. I just think your social score will put a red flag on the things that you do. If you a certified 5 walking around, certain things that you do, like a certified 5 just registered to study criminology. That should be a red flag. Let's keep an eye on Brian. First of all, look at Brian. Okay. Let's keep an eye on him. He's studying criminology. Oh, Reddit post. He's asking criminals what it's like to commit a crime and go to prison. Red flag. He's a certified 5. Sometimes you can be a 5 and people can push you to be a 5, right? Like Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes is engaged to a woman. Her ex-husband don't want to let go. Right? Allegedly, he's been harassing Matt Barnes, harassing the woman. Dude don't want to let go. She must have had some power box because dude don't want to let go. So he shows up at the 49. I guess apparently he's been following Matt Barnes and his ex-wife around and follows him to the 49ers game. And he gets in Matt Barnes' face. He said, what's the podcast called? All the Smoke? He wants all the smoke with Matt Barnes and gets everything he needs when Matt Barnes spits in his face, which is, to me, that's great. That's the ultimate form of disrespect, is just spitting in somebody's face. Like, you know what, man? I done told you to stop leaving me alone, man. Spitting in somebody's face and slapping them is probably the 2 highest degrees of disrespect. And if this dude, if he has been hunting Matt Barnes down, bothering his ex-wife, he deserved to be spit on. And it's so funny, when I watched the video, he gets spit on, just puts his head down and just does nothing. Like, all right. So he's, not only is he a harasser, he don't want no smoke. He's a tender man. That's probably why she left him. He's a tender man, allows other men to spit on him, and he does nothing. I'm telling you, there is no way nobody can get a spit off on me. As soon as you fix your mouth to do this, I'm firing on you. Immediately. You let a man hawk up. Wait. And it looked as if Matt Barnes took the time. Oh, you start doing that in my face, rights and lefts. I'm in your grill with rights and lefts, man. Immediately. You let a man hawk up and you just stood there like, oh, maybe dude was a freak. Maybe he wanted to get spit on. Maybe that's what he's telling all his friends right now. Man, Matt Barnes spit on me, man. Maybe he's a weirdo. We are in the last days. Maybe he's a weirdo. Maybe, could be, he's very similar to the police officer who, if he pulled over the teens, he'll make them strip and run naked instead of giving them a ticket. Matt Barnes out here spitting on people. It's funny. I got this joke that I tell on stage about I went to a party one time, to a Hollywood party, and I walked in one of the rooms, and there was people standing in line with $30 in their hand, and I was like, man, what y'all doing, man? And one of the ladies walked up to me and she said, hi, are you here for the Magic Johnson spit party? And I was like, no, wait, I just peeked in this room. What is the Magic Johnson spit party? She said, all these people are in line because they're getting ready to pay Magic Johnson $30 to spit on them. I was like, wow, that sounds pretty dope. I'm not interested, but that's a hell of a way to make some money, man. Are you charging? You mean tell me Magic Johnson's out here charging people $30 to spit on them? It's a smart dude, man. So I didn't want to get spit on, but I was intrigued. Well, let me just hang out and kind of see what this is all about. So I watch as they get closer. You know, this dude hands Magic $30. Only it wasn't Magic. It was the dude who played Magic Johnson on the HBO TV show. Dude is out here. Not only is he acting like Magic on TV, he's acting like Magic at mansion parties, charging people $30 to spit on him, man. That's a smart actor, man. That's how you stay working as an actor. In between shows, you still act like the character you play in the TV show, and then take it to the extreme. $30 for me to spit on you, man. Well, maybe Matt Barnes needs to start a service, man, where he spit on people for $30, especially if this dude enjoyed it, because he sat there and let it ride. Shout out to the ex-husband out here getting spit on. Shout out to you. Yeah, some weirdos out here, man. I read a story too that was kind of sad, man. This Fresno woman killed her sister and the sister's baby, and it had to be due to a jealousy and sibling rivalry. Admitted it all. You know what I mean? You got to be a cold person to murder your sister and your niece. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some deep. If you look up a lot of some of these murders, not which, like I said, I don't watch a lot of the news, but some of these murders and stuff, man, it's just, you're talking about jealousy and envy and rivalry that runs deep to the point where you want to kill the person in latter days. People will be without human affection, callous and inhuman, relentless, admitting of no truce or appeasement. They will be slanderers, false accusers, troublemakers, intemperance and loose in morals and conduct, uncontrolled and fierce haters of good. That's foul. Foul. And like I said, I'm praying. I'm praying for these people. You know, I'm not sentencing them. I'm not passing judgment. I'm not telling them where they should go because they're committing these crimes or doing these things. I'm just telling you this is how you know you in latter days. This is why you should be praying for your family and friends, man, because we don't know what people going through. We don't have the social media, the social score rating on driver's license. We don't know, man, somebody could have been a 1 before the pandemic and they probably walking around a certified 5. That was a 2-year trauma. You know what I'm saying? Call your people, check on them. You ain't, I called a relative about 2 weeks ago just to check on her. See, I haven't heard from her in a while. Just to check, see how she was doing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't text her and called her and left a message. She ain't hit me back like 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'll be hearing about certain people or family members or friends that have an issue with me or beef that haven't brought it to me. So then I call them and say, hey, I'm just reaching out. I just want to check on you. And if there's an issue or a beef or there's some envy or or whatever it is or an offense, hey, I want to apologize. I care more about the relationship or the friendship as opposed to a standing beef. Because if you hold on to offense long enough, it's like a prison. And the longer you stay in that prison, the crazier you will make yourself be. That's why I'm really big on just preaching to people about releasing offense. Call that person and tell them, hey, that offended me. That hurt my feelings. If you care about the relationship. Now, if it's somebody that did something so grievous and just ridiculous or off the chain, you know what I'm saying, and they violated you sexually or whatever the case may be, something just ridiculous, grievous, okay, maybe it's more peaceful for you to just let them go. But I mean, if they ain't tried to kill you or do something completely wild or just, if they didn't blatantly try to disrespect you, it's like, you got to check on them people, man. We got to check on our family and friends every now and then. It hurt to just call them. Right now, since we're we're lovers of self and conceit, there's so much tunnel vision for people, us just chasing success and our goals. This is what I want. I don't care nothing about nobody else. I got to go after this. I want this. I got to get $1 million in 2 years, and then you just burn every bridge and just plow down everything on the way there to getting it. But we built for love and relationships more than we are accomplishing goals. It's good to have both. Like I'm on y'all all the time about, man, write down your 3 short-term and 3 long-term goals. That's cool. But also, too, enjoy the journey on the way for those goals. Because you never know when those are going to happen. It could be 2 years from now, 3 years from now when your short-term and long-term goals come to fruition. You can't, God knows times and seasons, not us. But enjoy the journey on the way. Don't enjoy the journey like Officer Michael Martinez. He was enjoying it a little too much. He had people stripped naked and was running. He enjoyed that. That ain't what I'm talking about enjoying the journey. I'm talking about, every night, call your family members, man, check on them. Go to the barbecue, go hit the picnic. I know from personal experience, man, if I have a regret. I was so into when my dad had the car lot in Southwest Detroit, I just wanted it to be a successful business. And it ended up being a multi-million-dollar business after 2.5 years. But I was so focused on making this money with this car because I ran it. My dad, especially in the beginning, he wasn't there. He basically gave it to me. Here, run this. I don't want to be here. I've got this car lot. I don't want to be here. Run it. So I bought all the cars. I went to the auction to get the cars. I trained all the salesmen. I ran the whole lot. I was there every day. And I was so focused on that and being a lead actor in a show or a movie and booking commercials. I was so driven towards this goal that I wasn't enjoying the journey. And around that time, I was miserable. And I remember my Uncle Pete came to visit from California. I was in Michigan at the time. And I was at the car lot, and I was just trying to get these few extra cars. So I was trying to hit this goal by the end of the week. And I had an audition next week. And he was in town for, basically they was giving a party because they knew pretty soon he was going to pass away. And this is the uncle who, when I had cancer at 15, he flew from California to Michigan just to spend a week with me, spend some time with me. I remember he brought a card with some money in it. And he just for a week, just wanted to spend time with me. And, I'm 15 years old. So then you fast forward 25 years later, he's the one that's getting ready to pass away. And I can't even peel away from this car lot or peel away from these auditions to go see my uncle for a half hour, 20 minutes. I didn't go. And he passed away probably a month or so after that. And, man, now I'm thinking about it now. I wasn't really hurt. I was kind of hurt at the time when he passed away, but even more so now, it hurts my feelings that I was so caught up in these latter day things of self-conceit, lovers of self, into self-centered. Some of these things on this list I suffered from. You know what I mean? And I'm still a work in progress. I'm praying through these things every day, and I'm just doing a check and just making sure that Matthew 6:33, that God's priorities are my priorities. Matthew 6:33 says, if I seek the kingdom first and his righteousness, then he'll add all the things. See, I was chasing the things. I wasn't chasing his kingdom. And I had some successes, and then I had some failures. But ultimately, some of the successes was lonely. Because I worked to get those things. I worked to get these roles and these commercials. And then I worked to have this car lot that was making all this money. And I succeeded in some of those things. But honestly, we built for a relationship, man, more than anything. And I wish I would have went to that party. But I have forgiven myself for it. But ultimately, it drives how I operate now with family and friends. And it's nothing more important than relationships, man. That's why I was really excited and grateful that me, my daughter, my dad, and mom, we all put money in a pot and rented a cabin in Michigan for a week. We rented a cabin for Thanksgiving week, and we got it catered on Thanksgiving Day. And we called up all the family. Look, y'all ain't got to bring no money. Just show up to the cabin. We got it catered. You ain't got to bring no food. Because eventually, my granny used to do every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, every 4th of July. She didn't ask us to bring no money. She didn't ask us to bring no food. It wasn't no potluck. She was like, I just want fellowship. Y'all come through. And then as she started getting older and she stopped doing the parties, we started doing them, the family, but we was doing them differently. It was potluck. Bring some food or bring some money. And it just wasn't, it wasn't the same. And then we was doing it at people's houses, and we could tell that they didn't really want to have it at their house. They was just doing it out of duty. They was fussing at everybody. Get your feet off the chair. Don't do that. Don't do this. And it's like, man, I don't mind following the rules, but your spirit, your heart, I feel your spirit in your heart. You don't want us here. You're just doing it because. And that's eventually what started happening, and that's why I'm glad we were able to just, and that's not every family member, but some of them was weird about having it at their house. But eventually what we started doing is, I'm glad what we did for Thanksgiving is we just put money in the pot, man. And I mean, maybe that's something that y'all could do, you know, within your family. If you see, if the lack of unity bothers you in your family, then you probably are meant to do something about it. Call up some of your family members and say, man, let's all put some money in for an Airbnb and pick a holiday 2, 3, 4 months from now, 5 months from now. Like, let's just put money in and rent an Airbnb for Christmas and just get everybody in the room. Because you never know which family members you're not going to see no more, man. Like, we don't know. You know, we don't know. So I'm glad we had a chance to do that for Thanksgiving. It was fun to see all the kids and everybody just kind of fellowshipping and being in the same room. It was good. It was a really good time. I had fun. We got to get rid of the distractions, though. You know, there are a lot of things distracting us. You got to take some time to get away from TV, social media, blah, blah, blah. But also, too, I really feel like I'm going to do a commercial break right here. That's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to jump back into talking about China.
Hello, my name is Cody Barker. I'm the Academy Director at Source Trucking Academy. In case you haven't heard, right now the trucking industry is in desperate need of drivers, and they are paying. Our students right now are coming out of school with 80 to 100K plus per year jobs, and we're graduating them in as little as 2 weeks. Now, I've never heard of any other educational program with that short a time to value, or where the student is able to recoup that investment in the first few weeks of working. So come out to Source Trucking Academy, and let's get you paid.
You look like you pop pills and do dance battles in WeHo.
Oh, okay. So you look like you 35, but still ain't got your hair back.
What is the capital of Texas?
The fuck? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She said yeah. Yeah. Okay, the capital of Texas is yeah. That's obviously wrong. How about you?
I didn't know Texas had a capital.
I should probably give you my hat.
Oh! I love it. You listen to Elton John by candlelight at night. What's the capital of Michigan?
Michigan, is that Ann Arbor?
No, sir. The capital of Michigan is Lansing.
Oh,
I'm going to give you a couple more only
Lansing.
because you like 6'5", 6'6".
No, I'm 6'7" and a half.
6'7". He like, give me all my height, Playboy.
6'7".
Every seat in your house stank. Let's pray real quick. God, we love you. I praise you and thank you for this man. I thank you, Father God, for who he is. I thank you, Father. Are you by any chance that famous blind rapper, See No Evil?
Yeah, man, that's me. What's happening?
Did you drive here?
Yes, man. I drove to the crib. Wait a minute, bro.
I'm sorry, bro. No judgment, man.
Did you follow me to the crib, man?
I really would appreciate it if I could get your autograph, bro.
You trying to get an autograph, bro? Man.
Hey, can I still get the autograph? Man, look, I want y'all to take some time. Other countries study us because, you know, we America, we the most arrogant. We have been the most successful over years, but, you know, it's arrogant for us to think that we always going to be the greatest country ever. Especially if now we're starting to accept other agenda. Now we're almost becoming a laughing stock in some areas with some of the agendas that we are allowing in our society and some of the agendas that we're pushing on kids. These other countries looking at us like, you know, they telling their kids it's okay to mutilate their private parts. Like, we starting to do some weird stuff as a country, and it's unfortunate, but I'm praying for our country and for everybody in it. But take some time to study some other countries. Like, one of the things I like about Singapore, and I'm not saying that every country that I'm mentioning is perfect. I'm saying I would love for America to do a case study where they go out and visit other countries and see what works, especially thriving countries, and incorporate that, like benchmark other countries that work here, this, and this, almost like a think tank. And if we do have that, forgive my ignorance, but if we don't, if America had like a think tank team that went around to other countries, saw what worked and what didn't work, and we sat down and we start attempting to incorporate some of those ideas, ideals, and situations from other countries for our own betterment. That's what these other countries is doing, specifically China. I've been reading this book, Age of Ambition, Chasing Fortune, Truth, and Faith in the New China by Evan Osnos. This is an incredibly great book. Just getting history on China. They've been studying us for years. What happens, now I'm talking to the younger, like people who had older siblings. What happens over a course of time if you are always in the shadow of your older brother or older sister? You want to be like them. You eventually want to beat them at something. My brother always wanted to beat me at basketball. Always. He wanted to be better than me because I was always beating him. And eventually he was better than me. He was more athletic. He was just an overall better athlete than me. But I was dogging the mess out of him for years. He's excellent now. That's very similar to, that's why I want y'all to read this book about China, because they've been studying us and other countries that was better than them for years. Did you know that in China, you could not buy or sell your home until 1997? When you were in China, your abode was attached to the type of work that you did. You got like a home attached to your job. Like a lot of these Chinese wealth is new. Did you know that the number one consumer of luxury goods is China now? It's not even America. I'm talking about like luxury handbags, Birkins, and all this other stuff. The number one purchaser of luxury goods is China. Do you know that the casinos in part of China, I think it's called Mauca, M-A-U-C-A, that casino generates more money than every casino combined in Las Vegas. And these new casinos, to the point where Steve Wynn got one over there. Like, these people, they want to get wealthy so bad and fast because they were constrained for so long. They were under such a controlled society and government. Like some social media apps are still not available in China. I believe like Facebook is one of them, because there's such a control over the information and the propaganda that, we ain't no Facebook. There's no distractions. But they get just enough to see it's okay to strive for the next level. Listen to some of these facts. They study books about us, and they went without for a very long time. There's a lady, matter of fact, the richest woman in the world. Who is it? You think you'd say Oprah or something like that. No, the richest woman in the world is this Chinese woman. Her name is Yuang, and they call her the Queen of Trash. What she did was, what she still does is trash from all over the world that people didn't want, cardboard boxes and all of that. She would have it imported into China and used for different purposes in China. She's the richest woman in the world. Cheunwang, Yuang. It's another lady. She started a dating app in China because once people started branching out of their villages and they wanted to date, they was finding it having a hard time to date. This woman became a millionaire off of a dating app. I'm telling y'all, man. In 2012, China surpassed the U.S. as the world's largest consumer of luxury goods. I'm watching it, man. When I was working for this trucking company for a while, and I have to go to the DMV for some of these students at this trucking school, and all I saw at this one in Fontana, DMV in Fontana, all Asians. This neighborhood that I live in, most of these homes, most of these residents, Asians. These are $1 million homes. Asians. This whole neighborhood, most of the city of Eastvale is mostly Asian. So what happens when, like, there's a real estate boom? Like, you can't. It's real estate boom in China because people are making so much money now. And you buying all these houses in Beijing and all these parts of China. And when you get to the point where you've bought up most of China, what do you start doing now? Now you've been living in your big brother's shadow all this time. Let's start buying property in America. It's time for us to own America now. Tired of being in their shadow. Right? And they want to throw money at whatever it's going to take for them to be able to take over certain parts of this country. It ain't no secret. Joe Biden has some type of memorial center for himself not too far from the Chinese embassy. And it's come to find out that it was funneling money. The Chinese government was funneling money to Joe Biden to help him with this memorial center. Why you got a memorial center in China? He taking some of that Chinese money. And I ain't mad at him because they throwing it. Why they've been in the shadow of the big brother all this time. And I'm not even halfway through this book. You know, I just find it so intriguing that these Chinese people, man, they hungry, man. They hungry for wealth. They hungry for success, and they outworking us. One dude said, you know, he only sleeps 4 hours a day because any other time he's not making money. He need to be up, and they out hustling us. This is one of the reasons why when slavery ended, they put so many sanctions on slaves. That's why they didn't let us vote. Slavery ended in 1865. We weren't allowed to vote to 1870. And then after slavery ended, it was all these Jim Crow laws. You got these black people who've been working their tail off sun up to sundown for hundreds of years. If we release these black people into society, they're going to outwork the hell out of us and own everything. We can't have that. So we got to put sanctions on. We got to make them scared. We got to, do the strange fruit. We got to show them pictures of them hanging up on trees. We got to kill them. We got to restrict them. We got to do everything. We got to do redlining. And that's the part that some people don't understand. There's a system of white supremacy, and that system was in place for that reason. You release and there was a point where blacks were slaves. Our numbers, our population numbers surpassed other people. And then that's why they opened up I think it was the Immigration Act, where they started letting all of these people into the country, start giving them free land because they have to dilute our numbers. Because if we're highly populated in the United States, right? If our numbers beat everybody else's, and if they release us from slavery and we outwork everybody, we take over. And the whole plan was we can't let that happen. We can't, even though they're letting China do it now. It's crazy, but we can't let that happen. So since the numbers of black slaves are so high, we got to do the Immigration Act. We got to bring all these people in from all these other countries, man. And we got to offer them something, free land. We got to get their numbers down. And once they start getting our numbers down, then it was like, okay, well, when we let them go, man, we got to have some laws and stuff in place to keep them from outworking us, man. Sharecropping, redlining, and that does not make me against white people. And anyone who preaches this, we're not. What we're saying is there's a system in place that has been keeping us down for years, and that's really what it is. And do you got to work through it? Yeah. I mean, we can't use an excuse forever. Do I think we're going to get reparations? Maybe not. I talk about it, but I don't think we're going to get it. I think we just got to. My mom taught me years ago, she said, I want you to be a stereotype destroying black man. And my dad, too, he said, you got, as a black man, you got to work 10 times harder than everybody else. But you can't make no excuses because ain't nobody going to give you nothing. So I'm not waiting around. I'm not waiting around for reparations. I'm grinding. I told you, I'm grinding actually too hard. I'm at the car lot, all day. I don't even want to leave and go to my uncle's party. I ain't never had no problem with hard work, and I've had some successes and failures. I'm just saying have balance with it too, but I'm not saying it as no excuse. I'm just making a comparison to when we were released as slaves, they knew what time it was. If we release all these blacks into society as hard as they work, and they're going to own and run everything, and we can't have it. Because think about it. I think it's so funny that white people called us lazy, but really we was working as slaves in the field while you was sitting at the table drinking lemonade. Who was lazy? With our work ethic, We could have had everything. So the systematic laws in place prevented us from excelling because our work ethic was so great. But now you got these Chinese who killing the game. And I don't know if they got the same sanctions on them that they had on us, because this neighborhood I'm living in is mostly Asian. And they buying up everything. And it's so crazy. And even down to TikTok, which I'm starting to get a little concerned about, because I watched this video with Joe Rogan and he was reading the terms of service of TikTok. It's kind of off the chain. Watch the video. Look at it. The access to your information that they have, to the point where I've been trying to delete my TikTok for the last month. I ain't been able to do it. Every time I try to delete it, it says failed because too many attempts. Even the first time I tried it, it said it was too many attempts to delete it. How is it too many attempts? This is my first time. Why can't I delete my TikTok? It's weird. And not only that, if you look at a TikTok app, it has no advertisements. Facebook got advertisements. Instagram, they have Instagram and Facebook and even YouTube have certified ways where you can monetize and make money. TikTok's weird. Like they told me if I had 100,000 views in a 30-day time period or something, I can monetize my channel. So I'll monetize it, right? But I have no idea how to get to the money. I don't know what it is. It's weird. So now I got my brother, who's a tech genius, kind of looking at it like, man, let me know if it's any money in this. If not, let's try to delete it, which he did try to delete it for me last week and couldn't. It's weird. So if you got an app that don't have no advertisements on it, don't that mean you the product? So they're buying you. If they're not advertising anything, they basically, I just feel like this app, man, they watching yo. Somebody told me that in China, TikTok just shows positive things, uplifting things. Over here in America, it just shows us being stupid. And look, I'm part of the problem because I got 15,000 subscribers, almost like 100,000 likes or whatever. And that's just a small sliver compared to some people. But I put some silly content on there, and I got some viral videos on TikTok. But I think it's weird that I can't delete it. Like, I'm almost afraid to post anything else on there. And I got a flip phone, so I don't have it on my phone. I got it on my laptop. But when I'm on TikTok, I don't have no other browser windows open. What you after? Just think we should take some time to study some of these other countries, man. I can't wait to finish this book and tell you all about it. But so far, I'm only in like the first 100 pages. And I'm just so intrigued about China's history. And I mean, if they're going to take the time to study us, why not? Don't it make sense for us to study them, especially if they're taking over everything? Especially if all these DMVs is full of Asians getting their CDL license for what? And I'm not mad at them. I'm just trying to figure out, like, there's a movement taking place that we may not be privy to. And I want to know what's going on. And these Chinese, man, they outworking everybody, man. I'm telling you, this is an impression that I have. I feel like in the future, and I read this somewhere too, but I've been praying about it, and this is how I feel. I feel like China is going to take over the American government, man, to some degree. And then I feel like the United States is going to split. It's going to be one half. It's two different sides because our views are becoming, I don't know, man. I feel like the United States is going to split. I feel like there's going to be, and there's going to be a side of the United States. It's going to be two Americas. It's going to be one side that believes in some of the mess that they believe in now, that it's okay to mutilate the genitals of kids and gender blocking drugs and like all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be a side that's so strongly into that's y'all side, because it ain't going to end. It's going to be constant. It's going to be more things that they add on the table that they want to do. It's going to get weirder. I feel like it's going to be that side, and it's going to be a side that's like, man, I don't want to do that. I want to more conservative. I want to try to, live by the Bible. I feel like it's getting ready to be two sides. And when we're divided like that, that's when I feel like China is going to take over. I could be wrong. It's conspiracy theory, I haven't read it anywhere, nothing like that. Again, I'm not an economist or nothing like that. This is just an impression that I have because I'm watching people in these last days with some very interesting views and things that they want to do. And this other countries laughing at us, man. Absolutely. Some of the things that we're doing is criminal in other states, like in other countries. They'll kill you. You talking about mutilating kids? Put a bag over his head. Line him up. So it's sad, man. But again, I'm praying for this country. I'm praying for people. I'm not passing judgment with you. Just by calling something out don't mean you passing judgment on them. But that's just kind of where I'm at, man. Study some other countries. I'm curious to ask y'all if you had, if it's, here's where I'm at. Like what I like about Singapore is if you cut up in Singapore, then you get whooped in public in front of everybody. I mean, it's not Michael Martinez making you strip and run up and down the street naked, but it's like if you cut up, you get caned. You know what I'm saying? They pull your pants down and hit you with the cane 2 or 3 times in front of everybody. Can you imagine how low crime would be in America if you cut up somewhere and it was like, you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to line y'all up on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, on the news and everything. And, you're going to get whooped in front of everybody. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine going to the bar a week after that? Man, Johnny, man, I saw you on Instagram Live, man. They lit your ass up, man. You was hollering. You good, man? I bet you won't steal nothing else, will you? Embarrassment sometimes is more painful than sitting in that jail cell for 10 years. Crime will be at a low. Or imagine you get caught stealing something. Like in some countries, you steal, they cut your hand off. Knowing if that would be your punishment, like prison ain't enough for some people. Just knowing that, man, you get caught stealing, you gonna miss your hand, man. I bet you theft would go down. Man, Steve ain't got his right hand no more. I know what he did. He probably got a hard time jacking off now, man. I'm telling you, embarrassment is everything. Let's just ask that dude Matt Barnes spit on. I bet you he done got embarrassed on national. He embarrassed everywhere. It went viral. He can't even go to work no more. I didn't even think about that, man. Like, man, was that you, Otis? Running up on Matt Barnes? You let dogs spit on you? He gonna have to quit his job, man. He got spit on and put his head down and walked away. Like, I'd have to ask him, like, Otis, you didn't see when he was hawking up that there was a possibility he was gonna spit on you? Why you ain't walk away? Oh, you wanted to get spit on? Okay, well, let's stop talking, man. You a freak, Otis. Embarrassment is everything. So take some time, man. Study some other countries. I'd love to hear y'all comments about some things that you find intriguing in other countries that we could possibly implement here. You know, get this book, Age of Ambition, man. Read about China. Check out Source Trucking Academy, sourcetruckingacademy.com here in Southern California. Most of these schools is charging $8,000 to go to school. They're charging $3,800. You'll be done in 2 weeks. You have your CDL, be making 6 figures. SourceTruckingAcademy.com. They're good people. Go hit the website, man. I got my ebook, comedy special, Roast in Public, and a bundle pack on my website, iamcharlienewhart.com. Hey, take some time this week, man. Cut the TV off. Get off social media. Spend some time with your family, man. Everybody ain't promised tomorrow. Check on your loved ones, man. I love y'all because I love myself.